Are you only half recovered? Let's talk about it. Big Book, 4th edition, the foreword. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered. 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 They're not recovering alcoholics. They're not alcoholics in recovery. They have recovered. Past tense. From what? A seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. This is pretty much an extension video of what I've been speaking about for the last week or so. The extreme departure from the basic text. The extreme departure, the radicalization of AA people today. I make these observations because I was raised in AA in the 80s and 90s. And I say 80s and 90s because somewhere after the 2000s, things changed. I know what AA was like before, what meetings were like, what the people were like, what the focus was on. What was the focus on? We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. What was their focus on? To show other alcoholics what? Precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book. To show other alcoholics how we have recovered, and precisely how we have recovered is in italics, it's important, is the main purpose of this book. So what's going on today? I grew up in a time where over a week period there were only 5 to 7 meetings within a 30-mile radius. And my first sponsor, who has since passed away, we used to drive in that 30-mile radius to go to other meetings beside the 2 that were at our home group. And what did we do on days there weren't meetings? Or what did we do on days there wasn't a meeting until that night? Worry? Live in fear we're going to drink? Make excuses for inappropriate behavior? No. So what has happened today is meetings have become a safe space. What has happened today is meetings have become a safe space. People today are only half recovered. Remember what I read? Recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Well, they're free of alcohol, they don't drink, but they have these safe spaces. People today are using meetings as counseling sessions, as sounding boards. This never happened in the late 80s and 90s. I was there. I know. I remember. People today are using meetings as safe spaces where they can go and complain about the wife, complain about the husband, complain about the kids, complain about the stepkids, complain about their job, complain about their coworkers, complain about the boss, complain about excessive drivers, complain that things didn't go their way, complain that I'm sober now, why don't these people, my family members, trust me? Right? When meetings are used at safe spaces and people are going complaining and whining about all those things and more, what they're doing is playing a victim. That didn't happen in the late 80s and early 90s when I first came into the program. That didn't happen. You worked with your sponsor, your spiritual advisor, your counselor, your minister, rabbi, priest. You didn't wait until, well, there were no noon meetings back then. The meetings were at night, and there was only 5 to 7. We had to travel to those other meetings because our home group only had 2. What did we do in between? It's just like when you think about the origins of AA, there were only meetings in Ohio and meetings in New York. You think they traveled from Ohio to New York every day to go to a meeting? No. They practiced principles in all their affairs. They had those spiritual awakenings. They recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Not just body, but mind. When it says spiritual awakening, it's described, in the back of the big book, as a profound personality change sufficient to bring about recovery. They're talking about recovery from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And if you're just sober and using meetings as a safe space, you haven't recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And you're going there on a daily basis to use it as a counseling session, to use it as a sounding board. And what are people saying to you when you come in and whine and complain about life? You're in the right place. We understand. Those normies out there don't understand us. You know, you're encouraging this victim mentality. I don't go to meetings anymore because that's just one item that is a radical departure from AA as I remember it in the 80s and 90s. My sponsor, when I came in 88, my sponsor had 4 years. So that takes us back to 84. His sponsor had about 6 years. That takes us back to 1978. His sponsor had about 10 years. That takes us back to 1968. Those people were closer to these people that recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body and followed the principles in this book, practiced them. Not today. Not today. When people act inappropriately, that have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and more. They're just sober. They haven't recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind because they still can't cope with life. And they use meetings as a safe space. And then other people say to them, you're in the right place. Well, to use an AA slang term, you're in bad space and you're not making it any better.